All right. How's everybody doing? Oh, that was weak. How's everybody doing? Awesome. Thank you so much. You know, it's always so much easier just to show you like a small clip. I have so many people, they're like, oh my gosh, what do you do? It's like, well, do you have the next 30 minutes? It's so hard to kind of, create that elevator speech when you've done a lot. Not that I ever expected to work for Donald Trump and be on TV and become a best-selling author. I just want to make more money. I mean, that was me. You know, I grew up in Northern Virginia. Anybody from Northern Virginia, D.C. area? I can see we all moved south, which is good. Start. My dream job as a kid was to work on airplanes. So I did all the right things. Went to school, went back, got my A&P license, and I landed that dream job with United Airlines. And after about a year, I realized, although that was my dream job as a kid, that was not my dream salary as an adult. So I started looking into this real estate investing, and I purchased the Carlton Sheets program. You guys ever buy the Carlton Sheets, or is that just me? And I remember going through the program, and I was like, I'm lost. I don't even know what to do, where to start. But I kept believing in it. When you have faith, you believe in something you can't see or touch, but you keep moving towards it. That was me. So what I do, I quit my job. My mom, she freaked out. Here I had a great job, the benefits, the whole 9 yards. I just quit to do something I haven't even done yet. But I believed in something. I believed in an opportunity, and I packed up a U-Haul, and I moved to Bryan College Station, Texas. Anyone familiar there? You guys heard of Texas A&M University, Johnny Football, that whole... So this is a town of 150,000 people. 50,000 of them are students. And I started to do something I've never done before. I had no money, so I started mowing yards part-time until I got the real estate going. Took me 3 months to do my first deal. Heck, I didn't even know if it was legal what we were doing. It was like, that's just what the book said, After my first year, I did 46. I tell you, I was hooked. If you don't want to talk about real estate, don't come talk to me. That was my attitude. Eventually built up several different companies throughout the state of Texas. People were asking, how are you doing it? And we started kind of bringing on people. And what we did is we charged them up to 10 grand to work with us. We would guide them through the business and then split the deals, kind of like a realtor. Any realtors in the room? Awesome. And we started building. Next thing you know, I'm working for a man that's worth $7 billion with a big B. And writing programs, educating across the country, doing several speaking events, and eventually became the head trainer for Donald Trump, teaching all of his coaches how to actually teach it. Next thing you know, doors start to open. But I love real estate. I have a passion. I think you'll see that here tonight. Anybody been to my website, REI and Me? I know a lot of you probably like, who is this joker coming into Charlotte, right? We better investigate him. What's he going to sell me, right? You guys, did anybody do any research on me? Just a few people? And the rest of you are like, oh, well, I had nothing better to do tonight. We'll just show up, right? Okay. Anyways, that's the book. I was very blessed to have the opportunity of being voted one of the top 30 entrepreneurs in America. And I was asked to do this book with 29 other authors, and we basically went in and said, hey, what's our big secret? And we wrote a chapter, became bestseller in 2 days. I think it hit 5 best-selling list. You can obviously download that on our website for free. It's a digital version. You can also buy it on Amazon. And just so you know, all the proceeds we donate, all the authors agreed to donate every proceed from the book sale to a children's organization. So it's pretty awesome if you want the hard copy. But most recently, guess what I got asked to do? Anybody ever heard of a guy named Brian Tracy? Yeah, well, I just wrote a book with Brian Tracy. And it's kind of cool. Who would want this book? Who wants this book? Who wants this book? What's your name? Jack. I'm going to sign this book if I have a pen. I think I do. I got one. Unfortunately. And it was Jack. I'm going to get a little dirty with you. Everyone's over the age of 18 in here. Anybody know my last name? Goff. Thank goodness my first name's not Jack. Okay, that was bad.
Just quick though.
And if you didn't get it, that's okay. You didn't need to. Here's to your success. Good job, Jack. Give him a hand, right? That was awesome, right? That's your first lesson. If you want something in life, what do you have to do? You have to take action. Even if you don't know what you're doing, do it. I'll give you all a test. Ready? Look up here. 5 frogs sitting on a log. 3 of them decided to jump. How many are left? 5. Very good. See, deciding to do something is nothing. Doing something is something. You have to take action, right? So what type of investor would you like to be? Just by a show of hands, how many people would classify themselves as beginners just getting started in the business? And then, so we have a lot, and then the rest of you probably have been in the business. How many people have flipped more than 20 deals? No matter what strategy, so just a few, okay? You know, we always, when I got into real estate, I just needed to make more money. And I learned being in real estate, it wasn't even about the money. It's about helping people. It's about doing the right thing. And what I realized, the more people I helped, the more money I made. And then I hear all these successful people say the same thing. But yet it's so true. The more people you help, the more money you're going to make. Are you going to be that person that needs to generate cash quickly? You're that person's like, Chris, I don't even know how I'm paying my bills next month. I need to generate some cash. Then you have the opposite side of that where you want to maybe build a long-term asset, right? I know one of the things that we do as investors, we'll buy property and rent it out, right? Why would we do that? It's the least profitable strategy there is in real estate. And that's renting a house out. Did you guys grow up and say, hey, I want to be a landlord when I grow up? Is that what we do? No, we want to make more money, right? There's only one thing you really have to know. And when I figured this out years ago, it made a big difference in my life. And I know it's going to make a big difference in your life because I think by show of hands, I would say 80 to 90% of you would say that you're a beginner. You're just getting involved in real estate. This one thing right here will totally change everything, okay? And it's what I call the executable steps. Have you ever anybody been to a real estate seminar? They're not much fun, are they? It's like I learned a lot, but I didn't even know what I learned. And then I sat down with a guy, and he tried to tell me that I needed a coach, right? And then if I didn't get a coach, my dog was going to die. I was never going to make any money in the business. You might as well go back to your JOB, which stands for what? You know what boss spells backwards? Double SOB. See, you need to fire your boss, right? It's about being an entrepreneur. Isn't that why you're in the business? Or are you looking for another job? It's different, right? But there's really 2 parts to this business. I like to keep things simple for you guys. You have real estate, you have marketing, okay? Obviously, I think you should be a little bit better at the marketing than you are at the real estate because I don't care how great you are at your craft. You could be the best plumber out there, but if you don't know how to market yourself, you're never going to make any money. Would you agree that marketing's kind of key? And I'm going to open your eyes tonight on what I think is the right marketing. And I promise you've never heard it before. So part 1, we need to pick a strategy, right? How many real estate strategies are there? How many? A lot? Well, I don't know. These are the only 5 that I know. And I guess I've been doing it since 1998, so just a couple years. These are the only 5 that I know. I know a lot of guys like to come up here or attend an event and they kind of make up a strategy name just to make you think, oh, this is new. This is the next thing that you should be doing. It's not true, okay? This is really all the strategies. Anybody wholesaling right now? Okay. Anybody flipping up houses, buying low, fix up, sell, or seller financing? By far the most profitable strategy in real estate. Hello. We all should be doing that. Lease options. How many people are familiar with the term lease options? Now, how many people have done one? Isn't that funny? There's always one or two, right? It's so funny, but yet it's such a common term. But yet we don't know how to connect the dots. I'm going to show you how to connect the dots. Okay? And then we have what's called a straight option. I love this strategy. We're not really going to go into detail on those. We don't have time, but I want to ask you guys a question. If you purchased a property for investment purposes, how could you make money after you bought it? What could you do with the house to make money? Out loud. Rent it? Oh, I was psychic. I knew you were going to say that. What else could you do? Sell it. What else could you do? Man, I'm good. There must be a connection here, right? What else could you do with it? Somebody said it over here. Very good. Owner finance, seller finance, same thing. What else could you do with it? What else could you do with this to make money? Well, let me ask you, is there anything else besides living in it or burning it down? So how many real estate strategies are there really? There's not as many as you think. Anybody heard of a foreclosure? It sounds kind of basic, right? A short sale, an auction, bank-owned properties, pre-foreclosures. Are those strategies? No. It's a process that somebody goes through. It's called foreclosure. What strategies do you work in those specific situations changes. If you don't understand the strategy, how can you do a foreclosure? If you don't understand seller financing, how can you do pre-foreclosures? If you don't understand retailing, how do you do auctions or bank-owned or short sales? So we have to get the strategies down, right? All right, these are my two top favorites. And I think about 3 or 4 of you that said you've done one would agree. Whoever understands the creative financing part of the business is going to make more money. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings here tonight. I'm just going to tell you the facts. I started wholesaling. I love wholesaling. I did 46 my first year. I love it. Here's the problem. It's about 1% of the marketplace. And unfortunately, 90% of the people that get into real estate do wholesaling. You have 90% of the people wholesaling the 1% of the marketplace. I don't know about you, but that doesn't make any sense to me. Times have changed, folks. It's time to get a new tool in the toolbox. Wouldn't you agree? Because now you're competing against the other 90%. We don't want to do that, do we? You guys need some coffee? You're all quiet. You need some coffee? Get up. We need to do some jumping jacks. Thank goodness one of my girls that works for me, Holly, she's not here. You guys would all be doing circles right now. Seller financing is a strategy, by far the most profitable strategy there is in real estate. Why do you think all the banks have the biggest buildings? It's called interest, right? We want to become that bank. Lease option is such a common term, but yet nobody really knows how to do it. I love these two strategies. I've moved into Charlotte tomorrow. That's what I would be doing. And I'm going to go over why. A little competition. I already proved that point. How many people in here are working seller financing or lease options in the room right now? There's no competition, is there? What about more deals to work? Why would I say that? Well, the distressed marketplace is about 1%. What about all the people that don't have any equity in the house? Who works with those people? What about people that had expired listings? What about nice, pretty houses that don't need any work? Who works with those people? Probably not many, because you know they're not going to take a deep discount. Please take my offer, please, right? We don't want to be that guy, do we? Doesn't require any money. That's pretty awesome. What about immediate cash bill long-term asset? To me, it just makes sense, guys. Okay? This morning, I pulled all the pre-foreclosures in Mecklenburg County. That's it. And I know it's kind of hard to see, but we've got 387 properties right now in pre-foreclosure. But here's the thing. I only pulled houses that had at least 20% equity in them. There's actually 1,500 people in pre-foreclosure right now. Who's helping those people right now? The single guy in the back, right? I can tell you right now, 99% of investors don't even know how to work a pre-foreclosure. Because they just don't know how to do it. I'm going to teach you how to do this part. What strategy are we going to use with pre-foreclosure investing? No. Seller financing. I don't ever want to make up back payments, put a bunch of money into a property, and I don't own it. Okay? Could you do a lease option with it? Sure, you could, but 387. Now, if we don't help these people, what's going to happen? That's right. They're going to lose the house, right? It's going to go to auction. Then it could potentially become bank-owned. Some of them may go through a short sale. These people will be kicked out of the house. And what a lot of people don't understand, with a foreclosure now in your credit report, you may not even pass a rental application. Because if you're not paying the bank, why would you pay me? Right? Wouldn't you be thinking that? We have to go help these people. They don't know what to do. They're not in real estate. They bought the house to live in it, not to invest in it. Okay? All right, so let's get a little bit into lease options. I'm just going to cover the basics. Unfortunately, we don't have much time tonight, so I'm going to go through as much as I possibly can. Basically, it's taking control without actually taking the title to a property. So simply defined, a lease option is a lease agreement combined with a purchase agreement. So here we have a lease agreement, and then we have a purchase agreement. We just simply putting the two together, calling it a lease option, lease purchase, rent to own. It's all the same thing to me. Through a lease option agreement, buyer leases the property, usually 1 to 3 years, and then has the right or option to purchase the property on or before the end of that agreement. So I'm going to lease the property today. I could buy it today or all the way up to the end of the term. Why do buyers want to do this? Maybe they need to fix the credit. They need a little bit more time. How many people help those people? How many realtors do we have in the room? How many realtors help unqualified buyers? I mean, you kind of like give them some like mental, like, you know, maybe my guy over here can help you, but you know you're not going to make a commission. So who helps those people? You do. How many of those people do you think are out there right now? How many of those people are sitting in the room right now? Heck, the house I live in, guess what? I did a lease option on the house that I live in today. Do you know why? Because it's smarter. That's why. I'm going to teach you all this great stuff. What makes it legal? Anybody know? You guys have to be the most quietest group I've ever seen. What's that? Yeah. Okay. Why? You know what? You know why we have over 5,000 testimonials just on the way I teach it? Because I always tell you why. To me, that's the key to understanding the business. Why? If I went to you and I said, do you need an LLC or a business entity to set up for your business? What would you say? Sure. Why? Do you really know why? Okay, so why is it legal? What makes it legal? Who said that? That's right. We have a what? Purchase agreement, right? With either the seller or the new buyer has it with us, right? Anytime you have a signed purchase agreement with somebody, you have what's called equitable title, equitable interest. Have you ever heard of that term before? Think about this. If I go down to the BMW car dealership and I get financing, I sign the paperwork, they give me the keys, can I legally drive the car off the lot? Yeah, it wasn't a trick question. Sure, right? Could I go paint the car if I wanted to? Can I put new tires on it? Could I put a new radio in it? My question to you, how can you do all that if you don't have legal title to the car? See, you have what's called equitable title. It's the exact same thing in real estate. Think about it. 20% of car sales are on a lease-to-own program. What happens? You put a down payment down. You make monthly payments for X amount of time. And then what can you do? You can either turn it in, give it back, or buy it. 75% of airplane sales are on a lease-to-own program. What about real estate? You know, so why did we pass that up? I mean, have you ever seen those used car dealerships says, buy here, pay here? You know, they charge you high interest, right? And then they repo the car, they bring the car back, and they do it all over again. Constantly just keep doing that. It's the same concept, okay? But I don't want you to think, you know, we said these buyers are having credit issues, right? Don't think that these are bad people, right? Just because they need time, right? Think about this for a second. How many people live in a house right now that has a mortgage on it? Raise your hand. Why would you do that? You know, if you live in the house for 30 years, you can pay 3 times the amount of the house. So what you're saying is, I'm agreeing to pay 3 times the amount of the house because I need to live in it. Why would you do that? See, to me, that doesn't make sense. But I know why we do it. Because we don't have 300 grand sitting around, do we? We have to get financing. How many people have a credit card? Now, unless you pay the balance off at the end of the month, you know you're going to pay more for it because now you're paying interest. Why would you do that? That's the way America is, guys. We run on credit. So don't think just because you don't have credit, they're bad people. Because you're doing the exact same thing. You are literally paying more for almost everything you own right now. These people are in the same shoes. So I don't want you to think that these are bad people. This is the scum of the earth. You know, they just came out of the ditch, you know. I mean, these are good people, right? Doctors, lawyers, everybody. Lease options provide upfront cash, great passive income, build an asset without ownership, no low ball offers. I could pay the seller full price and still make money. Here's why. You either buy real estate in 2 ways. You buy it at a cash discount, correct? Or you buy it on terms. How much down, how much a month, and how long can I do it for? Right? Just like your house. That's what you did. You put a down payment, you make monthly payments, blah, 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 right? Same thing. I was always told years ago, anybody know of a guy named Jerry Reinsdorf? He owns the Chicago Bulls and the Chicago White Sox. Okay? He told me this. He said, Chris, if the seller picks the price, you pick the terms. If the seller picks the terms, you pick the price. If the seller picks the terms and the price, what are you going to do? No, you just put a gun to their head. It usually works good. So, no, you're going to put it in a 30-day file, right? Because there's only one thing that's going to change their mind. Guess what it is? Time. People's circumstances change in time. Okay? Investor benefits, this would be for you. Controlling real estate. What I love, you don't own the house, you control it. If I go to the Bank of America and I want to borrow money to invest in a property, how many times will Bank of America keep doing that with me? They're going to cut me off, right? But what happens if you control the house and it doesn't go on your credit report? How many houses can you buy? As many as you get your hands on. See, that makes sense to me. Little or no competition we talked about. You can pay the seller full price, guys, because instead of the price, we're going to get on terms. No credit needed because you're not buying the house. You're not begging for a loan, okay? In a business you could do every day because there's always a seller that can't sell. There's always a buyer that can't buy. All we need to learn is to how do we take the 2 dots and put them together. That's all we have to do, okay? They work best in the following situations. Any seller renting their home. That's where I started with lease options. I used to cut all the houses for rent out of the newspaper and I'd call them all. Because I knew, why would you ever rent your house out? This is way smarter. Now, they don't understand lease options, otherwise they'd be doing it, right? So I have to educate them on what it was. Unless it's a seller that says, hey, this is my dad's house, I really don't want to get rid of it, that's one thing. But what about all the other houses that are for rent? If a seller can't sell a house, what do they typically do? They rent it. Isn't that kind of what they really want, though? They're going to get payments, but at the end of the day, they're going to buy it? It's a win-win. Okay? What about they don't need to sell right now, job transfer, need to move quickly? I'm here to tell you guys, people get a job transfer, what are they scared of? The very first thing they're scared of, besides the moving part. Yeah, they don't want to make a payment on an empty house because not many people can afford an extra $2,500 every single month on a vacant house, and even if you could, why would you? Okay? Behind on monthly payments, trying to buy another home, can't sell, don't want to pay capital gains tax today. A lot of different reasons. Seller benefits, they could receive full price, receive a non-refundable down payment, can receive higher rent, no management headaches. Why aren't there management headaches? I want you to think about this. If I put a tenant in a property, are they committed to buy my house? No. So how do I know if they're going to take care of the house? Cross your fingers, right? But with a lease option, I know they're committed. They want to buy the house. They treat it as though it's theirs already. Heck, I've had people put sprinkler systems. I had one guy put a pool in my house, and neither one of them bought. Okay? And it's like they treat the house as though it's theirs. And I want you to think about this. How many people out there right now are helping people like that? Not many, right? So they love you because you're the only one that lifted a finger to help them get into a property, okay? No or little maintenance cost. In all of our lease option contracts, we put the tenant buyer, is responsible for all maintenance costs and repairs up to $500 per occurrence. They need to start taking ownership of the property, right? Little things are going to go wrong in a house. We want them to start taking care of those things. So you're not going to get that call, in the evening time, hey, come fix my toilet, it's leaking, Those are things that they're going to take care of. Receive positive cash flow just like you were renting the house, retain title to the home just like you were renting the house, and build equity every single month. You charge the seller 0% commission. Your offer may be the only offer. You do all them work, you cost them absolutely $0. Why wouldn't they do it? If I went to a seller and I said, how much are you asking? And they come back and say, $200,000. I'll give you $200,000. Is that normal? But could I? I just got to get it on what? Terms. That's it. Okay? What are the buyer benefits? Very low down. Typically, we charge 3 to 5% down as a down payment. It's not legally called a down payment. It's actually called an option payment. And that money is applied to the purchase price if the buyer exercises the option to buy. Okay? No bank qualification because they're not getting a loan today. They will eventually, but not today. Rent money is working for them as a rent credit, down payments credit, price protection. With all of our lease option agreements, I like to set the sales price today. And I know a lot of shady investors. You know what they do? There's none in here, right? You know what they do? They say, well, when you're ready to buy, we'll get the house appraised, whatever it appraises for, then we'll sell it to you. How does that make sense? I like to set the sales price today. That way the buyer knows they're working towards something. Heck, if it appreciates, good for you. Okay? I told you in the beginning, it's about doing the right thing. You do the right thing, you'll be in this business a long time. Okay? Profit from appreciation, time to check out the home, neighborhood, no taxes to pay. There's basically two ways, guys, that we could structure these. The very first way is where you guys are my sellers, you're my buyers. All I'm doing is putting it under contract with my sellers. I'm finding you buyers. I'm putting you together. I'm going to collect a little bit through the down payment. I'm going to move on to the next deal. The reason why I would do that is if there's no cash flow. If the seller, maybe their mortgage payment's high, where maybe it's $1,000 a month, and that's kind of the going rental rate, we really can't charge them too much more. It's not worth me staying in the middle of this deal if I'm only going to make $50 a month. I mean, would you? And what happens if you had a seller buy at the wrong time and they owe this much? They have zero equity. Well, if I can't profit on that part either, guess what? I'm just going to put the two together, collect a little bit through the down payment, and move on. The second way is what we call a sandwich lease option. You guys familiar with that? Yeah, hello? You guys familiar with that? No? That's okay. It's basically we're going to stay in the middle. Okay, so if I agreed to pay the sellers $1,000 a month, and the buyers are paying me $1,300 a month, they pay me $1,300, I pay you $1,000. How much money am I making? $300 positive cash flow. That is correct on a house you don't even own because you control it. Okay? If I have to pay the seller $2,000 down and the new buyer gives me $8,000 down, how much did I make through the down payment? The day I do this agreement, which could be tomorrow, I make $6,000. Not a lot of money. Maybe for some of you it's a lot of money, right? It's a lot of money. We'll just it's a lot of money, okay? $6,300 positive cash flow, and if we agree to pay you $100 at the end and we have a higher sales price over here, I'm going to make that difference as well. I'm making money on a house I don't even own. And when I started doing that, I thought I was going to jail. So I did not think that was legal. You know, I mean, I was so stupid. My attorney finally came up to me and said, Chris, you need an LLC. I'm like, LL who? He's like, an LLC. I'm like, what's an LLC? Like, is this code for something, attorney code? I had no idea what I was doing, but guess what? I was doing it. You know how we all have that fear? Anybody scared? Kind of have that fear? Think about it. When you were a kid, who told you what to do? Your parents. You go to school, who tells you what to do? Get a job, who tells you what to do? You retire, who tells you what to do? Your wife or the government, right? See, all of your lives, our lives, we're always being told what to do. And somewhere between being a kid and growing up, all that negativity, that insecurity falls on our shoulder and we're scared to do anything. Remember when you were a kid? Man, you weren't scared of anything. You almost need to act like a kid again, okay? All right, so here's the 3 profit centers. We talked about the difference in down payment. The day I find the buyer to put with the seller, I'm going to make that money that day. It's not like I have to wait for, title search and all this stuff. We're not doing that yet, okay? So in this example, we're going to pay the seller 2. The buyer's going to pay us 8, in that case, $6,000. Can you get in with no money down? You know, the less we give the seller, the more we get from the buyer. Obviously, we profit more, right? But I want you to think about this business. Do you think, or would you agree with me, that you would do more deals if you gave the seller money down versus trying to get in with no money? Then give them the money. Why are we crying over a couple $1,000s? Do the right thing. Okay? The next is the difference between monthly payment. We pay the seller $1,200. In this case, the buyer's paying us $1,500. We're going to make $300 positive cash flow. If we're paying the seller on the sales price $200,000, the buyer goes to buy. They're buying it for $220,000. How much would we make there? How much? No. Remember what I said? The down payment's credited to the purchase price. So for the seller, we owe them $198,000. The new buyer owes us how much? $212,000. So $212,000 minus $198,000, $14,000. So how much did we make up front the day we did this? $6,300 a month, and another $14,000 on the back end. Oh, do you own the house? Are you a landlord? How much money do you have in it? Hello? Right? I mean, this is obvious, right? Here's one of my students here. I love what he said here, and that's the reason why. This is a father-son team. His son, this is Gary, and he was that guy. He wasn't scared of nothing, But his dad, he worked for the government, and he was always the guy that said, maybe we should investigate this a little bit, So it was a very awkward situation, but working with them, the very first deal they did with me, we made $10,000, but I love the fact that this was a single mother that nobody wanted to help. She couldn't get a realtor to help her out because she couldn't qualify. She just didn't want to throw her money away in rent. She wanted a home. She cried on his shoulders. That's why we're in this business. Another lady here made $5,000, not much money, $100 a month, and then make another $5 on the back end. Some of these deals might be kind of small, and I always like to give you the small deals. You know why? Because if I give you the big deals that you made $20,000 up front, $500 a month, and $20,000 on the back end, you'd all be impressed and take no action. So I know that if I give you hey, let me give them some small deals just to kind of warm up to me, right? There's a lot of money to be made in this business if you do it the right way, and that's what lease options are all about. I'm going to throw you for a little loop here. This is a real deal. They were in pre-foreclosure, okay? Now, pre-foreclosure investing, there's a strategy you're typically going to work. It's called seller financing or owner financing, okay? So anyways, I'm always curious to see who's in trouble that lives near me. Are you like that? And I noticed this house was a couple streets down. I'm like, oh my gosh, this house is in trouble. So we drive by the house, and there's a realtor sign there because they're trying to sell it before it goes to auction, right? Smart thing to do, right? So anyways, I pulled some information. I was like, what was that realtor's name again? And I looked at the tax roll, and wait a second. The owner is the realtor. This was her house she lived in. So we contacted her, and she was telling me that she hasn't been able to sell any real estate. Her husband got laid off from construction. They haven't been able to make the payments, right? It happens, doesn't it? And it happens every single day in every city across the U.S., okay? So this is the facts. The ARV, you know what that stands for? After repaired value. This is what it would be worth in tip-top shape, was $450. Guess how much she was trying to sell it for? $450. Are you an idiot? You're going to lose everything. Why not sell it for $350 and just be done with it? But she felt that that equity was hers. She saw payday. Okay? Repairs were $10,000. Back payments were $12,000. So they were $12,000 behind on their monthly payments. Loan balance was $175,000. Why wouldn't you just sell this? I mean, we say this every day. What are you doing? Why would you just do this, right? But I also want you to think about this. Every pre-foreclosure is not going to be saved. Those people will go through foreclosure process. Every bank-owned property on the planet used to be in pre-foreclosure. People just happen to go. Don't get me wrong, obviously some of these properties are so far upside down, that's the only solution. But there's a lot out there that aren't. I showed you there's 370 some properties right now that have 20%, minimum 20% equity. Okay? Back taxes were paid, or the taxes were paid. Rental amount was $2,400, monthly payment $1,650, tax insurance $350. She had a lot of equity. She didn't want to lose it. There's my offer. $175. I would make up the repairs, $10. I would make up the back payments. Soon as I send the attorney that's handling the foreclosure the back payments of $12,000, guess what happens? The foreclosure stops because now the loan is current. What did I just do for the owner? Just save their credit, right? Otherwise, they're going to lose everything. And I offered to pay her $5,000 in moving money, but I'm going to give you a tip. Never, ever pay the seller moving money until they're out of the house. How do you think I know that? Okay? So, could I have paid her more? Yes, but can I always go up? You never could go down, right? So I knew I could always go up. Of course, she didn't accept my offer, right? She said she would call me back. Do they ever call you back? No, but guess what? She did. 3 months later. She accepted the offer. Why'd she accept the offer? Everybody in pre-foreclosure has a deadline. She was getting ready to lose everything. Heck, I don't want to lose my credit too. Okay? Repairs 10, back payments went up to 15. I gave her the 5. I had to come up with $30,000 out of my pocket. 10 for the repairs, 15 for the back payments, and 5 for moving. How many people could come up with $30,000 to do this deal right now? What about the rest of you? Oh, would you just say, oh, I can't do the deal? Oh, I don't have money, so I guess I can't do the deal. Is that what you would say? Are you an employee or are you an entrepreneur? Because that's low-level thinking. If you want more, you better start expecting more. Where do I find it? You know that little guy in the back of your head at the end of the day is the guy that pulls all the file cabinets, checks all the photos for the day? You know that little guy upstairs? Okay? That little guy should be going, I need 30 grand. Where am I going to get 30 grand? You know, maybe if I ask some people, I could get 30 grand. Maybe I could attend a RIA meeting and get 30 grand. I need 30 grand because I need to do this deal. Do you think an investor would loan you 30 grand to do this deal? If the investor said no, he doesn't know what he's doing. So that would probably be a good thing if he didn't. This is a no-brainer. But where could you get the money? Credit card, would a hard money lender do this deal? Family, you got to be careful with that, right? Chris, my family got 30 grand, right? You just got to find it. You're an entrepreneur. If you want to be different, you literally will need to change your perspective of life 360 degrees. Because if you've never made more than $100,000 in a year, you don't know how. Your perspective, the way you look at stuff, will have to change. All I'm doing is giving you a vehicle to help that process, okay? So what could I do with the house? Could I sell it for cash after I took it over? Put some money into it, turn around and sell it? Could do that. Could I rent it out? I could. Of course, I would never do that. Out of all the properties I have, do you realize I only have one property that I rent? And I rent it to my dad. And I'm not kidding you. I never get paid on time. Ever. It's my worst property, you know? I don't want to be a landlord. Could I lease option it? Could I owner finance it? What do you think I did with it? What would you do with it? If you say sell it, you just want the cash, be done with it, and move on, right? But what happens if you didn't need the cash and you know you could make a little bit more? Maybe you would do that, right? I did a lease option because I knew the market would eventually go up. I didn't need the cash today, okay? But you could have done anything with this deal, just like we talked about. It really comes down to your specific situation. If you said, Chris, I'm dead broke, I need the cash, then we sell it, okay? So I ran one of my most popular lease option ads, found a couple within a week. I'm selling the house for $475,000, $20,000 down, monthly payment of $2,400 for a one-year term. Now, wait a second, Chris. You just said that the ARV is $450,000. How can you sell it for $475,000? No, you just change it on the computer from 7 to, I mean, it's not that difficult, right? No, here's the thing. Today's price is $450,000. So if you want to cash me out today, $450,000, right? But what am I doing for you? I'm giving you time. If I'm going to give you time, it's going to cost you a little bit more. Now, they have to give me $20,000 down. Does that seem like a good deal? Let's look at it from this perspective. This would be considered a jumbo loan. How much would a qualified buyer have to put down? 20%. How much is 20% of $475,000? It's already smarter if you are qualified to do the lease option in the beginning and then convert it over, get financing. Okay? $2,400. And I only put my buyers on a one-year term. I want to go as long as I can with the sellers, but never longer than a year with the new buyer. Some of the rules have changed in California. Obviously messed this up for everybody. It seems like whatever goes wrong, it's in California, right? So do I have the opportunity to extend the lease again? Sure, right? If you've paid me on time, you've been a good tenant, I'll just extend that lease, okay? Could I, if they couldn't buy, could I find somebody else to give me another 20 grand and do it all over again? Worst case scenario, you're going to make more money, okay? So here's the deal. My price, $175,000, because remember, I'm taking over their loan, okay? And I'm going to share with you guys how we could do that. Sales price, $175,000, 10 of repairs, 15 back payments, 5 moving. New buyers buying at $475,000, 20 down, $2,400 a month on a one-year term. So guess what I did next? Total investment 205. I refinanced it. So the ARV came out at 450. I got a 70% LTV. I basically got a check for 315. Now where does that 315 go? Obviously the taxes get paid first. Then the first lien, which was the original seller's balance of 175. It also reimbursed the $30,000 that I had put into the deal. And this left me with $110,000. Where does that $110,000 go? Hip National Bank, right? And you know the best part about the $110,000? Very good. Who said that? It's tax-free. You don't pay taxes on borrowed money. You pay what? Interest. Now, what could I do with that $110,000? Buy a Ferrari? What would you do? Right, because there's only one purpose of money, to make more money. That's it. So you take the 110, tax-free, and then I go and reinvest that into other deals. Home run. Now, I don't want to go buy a bank-owned house with 110 grand. How much did this house cost me out of my pocket? So how many deals could I go buy just like this with 110? I could go do 3 more. That makes a lot more sense than dumping all of your cash into one house to get $200 a month positive cash flow. And you're going, woohoo, right? Money maker there. Not, okay? So my new loan was $1,890. Now, I want you to understand, I had to figure those numbers out before I refinanced it to make sure they would work. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done that, okay? Tax insurance, $400, went up. Total monthly payment was $2,290, but I was receiving $2,400. So I was making $130 positive cash flow. Not a lot of money, right? But where was all the money? That's right. That's where the money should be, right? In your pocket. New buyer cost, $475. Remember, they go to buy, they're going to minus that 20. When they go to the bank, they're buying it for $455. So what was your first profit center? That's right, 110, right? Profit center number 2 was the down payment from the lease option buyer, 20 grand. Number 3 was that little cash flow, right? And number 4, if they're buying it for $455 and we owe $315, that's another $140,000. Total profit on this deal was $271,000. How many of those deals do you need to do a year to replace your current income? Do these deals happen every single day? No, but they do happen. And if you don't know how to go find them, you'll never do one. If you don't know how to structure the deal, you'll never do one. That's what we got to teach you. It's not hard. You just got to learn how to do it. I remember, working for Donald Trump, when you came and saw me for 3 days at a class, it's $5,000. That's what it costs to come sit and watch me for 3 days. And I went through wholesaling on day 1. And I love teaching wholesaling because a lot of the steps in wholesaling will duplicate in the other strategies. So when I go over the other strategies, it makes more sense. And a guy came in the door. He's like, Chris, the next day, he's like, gosh, that wholesaling seems so simple. But if it's so simple, why isn't everybody doing it? I said, not everyone's doing it, just like you weren't doing it before you walked in these doors to learn how to do it. I never said it was difficult. You just have to learn how to get through this business. Does that make sense? I've already made all the mistakes. I didn't even know what I was doing. Heck, I didn't even know how to evaluate a property. I was signing contracts wrong. I did all it. But I learned there's no real estate jail. I did learn that. What you can lose is money, though, right? I've never actually lost money on a deal, though. And I know a lot of people would probably say, I used to sleep in my truck. I eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I've made all the mistakes. Don't go through what I went through, right? It's like you're supposed to feel sorry for him, right? No, I was actually the guy that did all the right things. Went to college. You know what I learned at college? They don't teach you how to make money. I have the best job security on the planet. I know how to make money. Okay? Number 2 is marketing, right? We talked about marketing. We actually It's kind of the cool thing. We actually wrote a chapter in the Nothing But Net book all on marketing. We came up with a formula to teach you how to professionally market your business. This is not marketing where, hey, I've got a letter and it works really good for me in Texas, so you should use it too. No, I want to teach you how to write professional marketing on everything you do. Doesn't that make sense? Like teaching a man to fish so you can fish the rest of your life, right? You guys ever see this sign before? Man, it got quiet again. What do you guys think of this sign when you see it? Just be honest with it. What do you think in your mind? What's the first thing you think of? They buy ugly houses. What else? It's what? It's illegal. Low price? Scam. Huh? What? Say it again. Buying real low ball offer probably. What else do you think of? I guess my question is, why do you use it? It works compared to what? It's so funny. I say, to me, I think you should be professional. You should have professional marketing materials. That stuff right there, that worked like a charm 1999 and 2000. But for some reason, there's this negative charge in the air every time you see it. You just told me you don't believe it, or it's a scam, it's a lowball offer. Is it because somebody stood up in front of a room and said you should use this because it works? What have you ever compared it to? One of my coaching students uses this. Not one. Because I want my students to come across professional. Because this is a legit business. Why would I want to look like a sleazy, cheesy investor and use signs that litter up the corners? And let me ask you this question. If everybody's using them, how do you get deals? If I put professional marketing out there, I'm going to teach you how to do this, okay? If I put professional marketing out there, don't you think they'd probably call mine, or would they call the other 9 We Buy Houses? And have you ever thought about, the investors? And if you use these signs, you don't have to raise your hand, but you ever see the investors, they handwrite cash, offer in 24 hours, blah, 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 right? And you got to be thinking here for a second, folks. If you can't afford a sign, how are you going to buy my house? I mean, do you not think that? It's common sense. I want to give you a better way. I want to teach you how to run your business professionally. I have one of the best copywriters in the country that works for me. Major companies, RE/MAX, almost every realtor company has tried to employ her services. She's brilliant. And I'm trying to get her to come. I'm coming back here, guys, just so you know. Not this weekend, next weekend, we're doing a 2-day workshop. I'm trying to get her to come. I want her to enlighten you on how she does what she does, because it's all crazy to be. But let me kind of share with you, there's 6 steps to really providing awesome marketing materials. Professional, gets results. I had this one student in Houston, and she said, Chris, yeah, but I use the We Buy Houses sign, and I get 5 calls a month. I said, well, we get 20. We were always told as a company owner years ago, if you want to get better at something, you have to compare yourself to the people that are doing it better than you. Wouldn't you agree? So that's what I started doing. If that works for me, I'll use it every day. But I started to get, you're going to lowball me again. No, actually, we could pay up to full price. Now I'm changing who I am, changing my business model because of a sign. We had to change our marketing. We went from $500,000 a year to $2.5 million by changing one thing, marketing. I want to share with you guys how to do this. Number 1 is a product name. Number 2 is benefits. This is huge, guys. This is the biggest part of the formula. If I go up to a realtor and I'm a seller and I'm looking to employ their services with me, I would go up to the realtor and say, how do you benefit me? They'd be like, we've got, If you can't tell me how you're going to benefit me, why would I do business with you? Don't tell me about all of your features. Tell me how you can benefit me, okay? The next part is the pains. The pains if you don't use me, right? We do this all the time in marketing. It's really funny. Actually, Chick-fil-A does it very well. Every billboard says what? With a cow on it. That's the pain, right? All right, features, the reason why, call to action. We're actually going to go into depth on these. I want to teach you guys how to really use these 6 parts to become really good at marketing. This will totally change the way you do your business now, okay? See, it's not where you market your business. It's what you say in the marketing that gets the results. Every business on the planet has the same opportunity to market online, in the newspaper, signs, flyers. It's the same for everybody. Would you agree? What separates the really good ones? The people that understand what to say in the marketing to get the results. That's what I want to teach you, okay? You could use this formula for your business cards, flyers, websites, squeeze pages, community boards, radio ads, online ads, newspaper ads, special reports, postcards, letters, yard signs, promotional items, commercials, magnetic signs, autoresponder, just about everything you can think of. Okay? This works for everything. It just doesn't even work for real estate. It works for every business. Okay? Let me give you an example. This house was listed on the MLS, 189, great price. Sat on the market for 6 months, no offers, it expired. Is that something that happens? Every day, right? So the homeowner started to try to sell it themselves. This was the ad they had. Can't beat this price, adorable home located in Apple Cross, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, formal dining room, breakfast room, and more. Recent updates include new hardwood floors on the main level, bronze fixtures and fresh paint, large living room with wood-burning fireplace for cozy nights, French doors lead onto a patio. This home is perfect for having guests over. Kitchen features, tile backsplash, stainless appliances. The backyard is private, well-shaded, flat lot on a cul-de-sac, best price subdivision. You don't want to miss it. Does that get you excited? Like, honey, we got to go. Look at this house. This is it, right? No, it's really boring. They tried, didn't they? So what we did is we actually went to the homeowner, and I had my girl come in and restructured the whole ad because this house was adorable. There's no reason why this house shouldn't have sold. So we had her come in, she rewrote it, and this is what she came up with. It's going to be a little bit different than you're probably used to, okay? The headline said, Storybook Charm on Charingwood Lane. Once upon a time is now. Everyone dreams of finding the perfect home. You know the one, the beautiful New England-style cottage space for everyone with rich new upgrades throughout an oversized, shaded, park-like lot with an unbelievably low price tag. Sometimes dreams really do come true. Nestled on a shady cul-de-sac, Apple Cross community, this 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath home fits the description perfectly. From the moment you pull in the drive and walk down the brick path to the front door, you'll feel like you've just stepped into your very own fairy tale. Inside, the modern neutral-colored palette and lovely bronze fixtures are a perfect complement to the brand-new, stunning wide plank hardwood floors and absolute dream kitchen. Spacious rooms, crown molding, oversized laundry, and grand brick entertainment patio. This home is just waiting for your family to live happily ever after. But hurry, this newly listed move-in ready home is priced at an unbelievably $189.9. So call today, or this could be someone else's dream come true. A little corny, right? You got to have some cheese, is what we call marketing. Is that a little bit different? It's a lot different. What she could do, she could take all these words, throw them in a short sentence and be very descriptive, draw conclusions out, get you motivated, but more importantly, it reads like a book. It flows well, right? We marketed this for 3 days. 13 showings, 3 offers, sold in 1 week. We made 0 changes to the house. 1 change to the ad. It makes a big difference, okay? All right, real quick, guys. I know we're running out of time. We're doing, have you guys seen this on our website at all? We're going to be back here. I'm going to be back here. Not this weekend, the following weekend. Okay, so clear your books, all that good stuff. This is 2 days of intense training. Nothing will be sold. I never sell anything. You know why? We have thousands of people across the country always wanting to buy from us. We're very lucky. People like my demeanor. They love my teaching. They love the concept. They love how I could break something down so simple, get them to understand it, and then use the executable steps to perform it. It's taking action. It's believing in yourself. That's the easy part to do. I've been doing it for 15 years. Every single one of our events sells out. Honestly, I think we only have 20. Where's Bo? I think we only have like 20 spots left, something like that. I highly encourage, if you really want to get this business down, we're going to talk exclusively about pre-foreclosure investing and lease options, okay? If that's something of interest, which I don't know why it wouldn't, because nobody's really doing it, and there's way more money to be made in it, you need to clear your schedule and be there. We're actually doing it right here at this hotel. Okay, so you guys know how to get here. That's good. So we're going to start at 8. Registration will start in the morning. I'm just going to tell you we usually cut our class sizes off because I normally would train this in 3 days. We're doing it in 2. In order to do it in 2 days, I have to cut the size of the class down. Does that make sense? Because we got to make sure that we're going to over-deliver and make sure that there's questions. If you have 100 people in the room, there's always the few that are like, yeah, but Chris, no, but no. What? Right? You know who I'm talking about, right? We really need to cut the class size down. That's why we're limiting to X amount of people. I don't even know what we're doing yet. This is what we're going to cover. The lease option strategy, I'm going to go into depth on this. I'm going to teach you every executable step from finding it, how to talk to the owners. I'm even going to teach you how to fill out a contract on lease options. Anybody, have you ever done that in a workshop? Actually fill out a real contract? One person, that's it? 2? I bet you've never filled out a lease option one. All the executable steps from start to finish, how to do at least 1 deal a month. Pre-foreclosure investing. I don't know if you guys know, but I have every pre-foreclosure in the United States. And when you come to the workshop, I'm going to show you how we do that. That's kind of cool if you have all the information from the pre-foreclosure, how much money their loan is, who they're making bank payments to. Yeah, that's easy. I'm going to show you how we do that. This is pretty awesome. That's well worth it right there. Interactive exercise. This is not some boring seminar class where if you don't buy a $40,000 coaching program, you're scum. This is not about that, okay? And I think you get that. You can see my passion in it. This is about true education. If you ask anybody that comes to any one of our events, you'll know. I encourage everybody to go home tonight and research me. Promise you, you won't find anything. It's about doing this business the right way, the ethical way, and you'll make a lot more money by doing it the right way. Multiple offer system. You never make one offer on every property. We make 3 to 4 offers on every single deal. Why would you ever make one offer and say take it or leave it to the seller? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say no, and that's why the guru will always tell you got to make 100 offers to get one, right? No, that's an investor that does it wrong, okay? Right now, our acceptance ratio is 60%. That includes not only us, but all of my coaching students combined. Do you know why? Because we give them multiple offers. I'm going to give you a cash offer, a lease option offer, a seller finance offer, and then the last strategy I'm also going to teach you is what we call a straight option, which you work with pretty houses in nice neighborhoods. What's your name? Carlos? This is my best friend's name, Carlos. If I went up to Carlos and he had a house for sale, I said, hey, Carlos, I understand you can't take a low cash offer. I get it. I know you need to sell because you can't buy your next house until you sell yours. So the term strategy, lease option, seller finance, that's out the door. So then I pull the straight option strategy and say, hey, Carlos, why don't you just let me help you sell your house? I'm not a realtor. I've just been in the business. We've got some pretty unique marketing strategies. We've been able to help other sellers just like you. And heck, if you sell it before us, our contract's null and void. Just give me an opportunity to let me help you. What would you do? That's a straight option. I'm going to teach you how to do that. This today is awesome. It's like that strategy pull out your back pocket when all else fails. It's awesome. Okay? Wraparound mortgage, building your buyer's list. how to control real estate like we talked about. All the phones, guys, I'm going to give you exactly what to say for every strategy. Here's the intro script. Here's the questions all the way through. What about video marketing? Think that's important? Anybody ever see a YouTube video of me? 75% of my business is done through YouTube. And last time I checked, how much does YouTube cost? Explosive marketing strategies, we're going to go in depth. I'm trying to get my copywriter there. That would be a huge bonus because she gets paid $1,000 an hour. I'm going to try to get her to come in and speak for 30 minutes or so. I'm pretty sure I could do it, okay? But it's not guaranteed, but I'm going to try to get her in here because, man, she will totally open your whole perspective of marketing. How to find the deals, right? Seller questions answered. Property inspections, special reports, retire with seller finance, setting up your power team. Personally, we're going to go over a lot. I know how to do this very well. If a guy worth $7 billion trusts me, you should too. I know how to do this part. You will be so happy to show up, but we're only taking a few people. Everybody will receive this manual. Right here. And on top of that, I put the lease option contract in there. That cost me $1,500 to have my attorneys draw up. I'm going to give it to you in the workbook. Just right there. Oh, and this right here, this workbook, is my entire slide presentation for 2 days. That way you could take notes and all that good stuff. I hate people, they come in with a notepad, they're trying to pay attention to what I just said. They're not paying attention to writing, then they're paying attention to writing, they miss what I just said. It doesn't make any sense. So I want to give you that workbook, okay? Bo is right there. Where's he at? Oh, he's in the back room. Everybody turn around and say, "Hi, Bo." That was weak, right? They can't see you. Stand up. No, I'm just kidding. Now they laugh. Finally, right? Bo is a absolute, number one, he's a best-selling author. He's a genius with online marketing. He's going to teach you how to build your business online, okay? He currently runs 2 multi-million-dollar online companies. I go to him. You should too, okay? How much do you think it cost? What would it be worth to you? You guys are like, oh gosh, what's it going to be? I'm doing something so special because I am very thankful that JC asked me to come up here and speak to you guys. This is a no-brainer, guys. People have paid up to $5,000 to watch me for 3 days. It's $97. And you're going, what? I get it. If you want to bring a guest, it's an additional $50. I told JC we would do something so special for you that it only makes sense. I don't know why it makes sense to me, but it's going to make sense to you. Okay? My passion is to get the right education out all across the U.S. because I'm tired of all the scumbags out there. And you know exactly who I'm talking about. All the people that are manipulative. All the people that hang the shiny object in front of you. Right? That's not what these 2 days are about. I already told you, we're not selling you anything at the event, period. All you have to do is invest $97. Heck, that's one night at a nice restaurant. And if you're bringing a guest, a spouse, your son, whoever it may be, it's an additional $50. You both will not receive a workbook, but you could share one workbook, okay? The workbook cost me $30 to make, okay? So we're really just trying to cover our costs because I love testimonials. We're a very testimonial-driven company. And I want to share that message out. And who knows? We're a growing company. Our company is growing so fast, I'm personally looking for key people to be a part of my team. You might be one of those people. I have no idea. But I know if you don't take advantage of the opportunity and go out there and make deals happen, nothing's going to happen. You got to believe in yourself for just 2 days. I'm going to be your mentor for 2 days. Okay? Is that fair? I always like this. It's called the 3 C's of life. You have choice, choice, chance, change. Say that 10 times. You must make a choice in order to take a chance if you really want to make a change. It's totally changed my life. I know it can for you, but you have to get off your butt and you have to invest in yourself and do something with it. I can't force you to get off the couch, okay? I always love what Trump used to tell us. This is a big part of who he is he said, Chris, there are 3 groups of people in the world. People who make things happen, people who wait for something to happen, and people said, what happened? Right? Which group are you going to be in, right? It's $97. You can enroll right here with your club. We're not taking any of your money. It all is going to the club. So you can get with them. They'll have the enrollment forms back there. I'm going to hang around here. If you want to come talk to me, I'd love to chat with you. I'm a pretty easygoing guy. I hope you could see that. Very approachable. Just come up and chat with me. And I hope, did you guys learn anything? Well, that's good, right? That's all I have. So thanks for coming out. And hopefully I'll see you guys here in a couple weeks.
I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
About that straight option that you were talking about.